It was a blazing Saturday afternoon, the kind where the sun reflected off the water like diamonds and the scent of grilled burgers floated through the air. I had the pool all set up for a small, private gathering. A few friends, some drinks, and music playing softly in the background. Everything was perfect, exactly the kind of calm and relaxation that I cherished. That peace, however, was about to be obliterated by the neighborhood's self-appointed sheriff, HOA Karen. Karen arrived unannounced, striding up the driveway like she owned the place. Her heels clicked ominously against the pavement as she wagged her finger in that signature, "I'm in charge" manner. "I demand access to your pool," she said, puffing up her chest like she was presenting a royal decree. "It's a community pool. You have to let me in." I raised an eyebrow and tried to keep my tone calm. "Karen, this is my private property. You're welcome to come during the HOA event this weekend, but today, it's private. I hope you understand." Her eyes narrowed, and her face twisted into a grotesque combination of outrage and disbelief. "You can't do that. I'm calling the cops," she screamed, marching back to her car like she was leading an army into battle. What she didn't realize, however, was that I was fully prepared for her theatrics. Months ago, after a few minor confrontations, I had installed security cameras around the pool, the driveway, and even the garden paths. I had also spoken to a lawyer in advance, fully briefed on potential HOA harassment. This wasn't just a private pool. It was a fortress, complete with evidence of any attempted overreach. As Karen dialed 911, I calmly picked up my phone and sent a quick message to my attorney. "Karen's at it again. Cameras rolling." Then I turned to my friends with a wry smile. "Watch and learn." Within minutes, Karen was pacing nervously, phone pressed to her ear, talking loudly to the operator. She gestured wildly, yelling about illegal exclusion and community rights, completely oblivious to how ridiculous she looked. My cameras captured everything. Her dramatic flailing arms, the moment she slipped on the wet grass near the pool, and the furious stomp of her designer heels. Every motion was recorded for posterity. When the police arrived, Karen's fury reached a peak. She practically lunged at them, pointing at me and declaring, "He's violating everyone's rights. Arrest him." The officers, however, were professional and unimpressed. After reviewing the footage, they calmly explained that nothing she claimed had any legal standing and that private property rights were still in full effect. Red-faced and muttering about, "This isn't over," and "You think you're above the HO?" Karen stormed off, leaving behind an air of defeated arrogance. Meanwhile, my friends erupted in laughter, clinking their glasses in a silent toast to victory. The pool party continued, undisturbed, with a few extra smirks directed at the retreating figure of Karen in the distance. Later that evening, I reflected on the absurdity of the encounter. Karen had shown up armed with entitlement and a phone, ready to bully and intimidate, yet she had completely underestimated preparation, strategy, and legality. What could have been a stressful confrontation turned into a story my friends and I would laugh about for weeks. That day, I realized that sometimes the battle isn't about anger or retaliation. It's about being prepared, knowing your rights, and letting logic, cameras, and a good lawyer handle the chaos. Karen had learned her lesson, at least temporarily, but I knew deep down that this was only the beginning of an ongoing saga. She had underestimated me, and that was a mistake she would come to regret. From the sparkling pool to the laughing friends, the day had turned into a small but satisfying victory. Karen had called the cops thinking she would intimidate, but instead, she had walked right into her own embarrassment. And so, the first epic chapter of the HOA Karen saga closed, not with drama, but with quiet triumph, preparation, and a pool party that would be remembered for all the right reasons.